Flighty Nerdigans, this is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans, and today's Manga Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Vinland Saga chapter 219. But before I get into this recap and live reaction, we are at war with YouTube's algorithm, and it is slowly but surely killing my channel, and in order to defeat this algorithmic beast, we need you to please hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because of course this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored, if you love what we're doing and want to help keep me, my adorable little Viking kitty who's passed out over there, and this operation, well, literally alive and kicking, so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be news, analysis, or live reactions like this one, feel free to hit up our Cash App, PayPal, and Coffee. Links are in the description box below, as well as the link to our Patreon where we are doing our anime live reaction content, because unlike YouTube, where we constantly have to worry about getting a copyright strike for showing anything on the screen, well, Patreon, we don't have to worry about that. So we can have our full setup of the anime and manga side by side and have the audio to boot, which is not only great for busting a botch localization or two, but it's great for when we cover anime original content like, say, Dragon Ball Daima, which we covered in both the sub and the dub. And the more views and subscribers we get on Patreon, the more anime we'll cover. And hell, if you're a $10 patron, you get to choose the series we cover as well. And there is a stacked spring anime season in full swing, in which we're covering Witch Watch, Vigilante, Boku no Hero Academia Legals, and Fire Force Season 3. And there's even more on the way, so please check out our Patreon. The link is in the description box below. And also, we will be live streaming later today, because somehow I ended up with a weekly live stream on Thursdays again. I don't know, it just happens. Things just happen, man. That's just how my life is. It really is. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, last chapter of Vinland Saga was really heartbreaking because we saw the death of EINAR, and I don't think any of us saw this coming. Any of us did. And now we're going to see the aftermath of it. So let's get into 219, see what's in store for us today. Thorfinn, just remember this. If you're in danger in the days ahead, and your options dwindle, and you're forced to take that last resort you fear, remember that I know how you feel. Never forget that, brother. Whoa. And this chapter is titled Again and Again, Peaceful in Dreamland. And EINAR's buried with the statue. Whoa. EINAR, I know how you feel. I love that he's being buried with the statue, because remember, this was his dream, and he's being buried in Vinland. Like, this was his dream. So, and he did not want to leave. Well, he ain't leaving, but he's not leaving alive. You'd rather die than leave. So you were in danger, and your options dwindled, and you couldn't but fight. We know that feeling. I dedicate this piece to you. Aww. God, this is so heartbreaking. Oh, Papa, my darling. Oh, dude, we have limbs chopped off and everything. About 100 kilometers northeast of Arnheids village is the island where the women and children took refuge. Aww. What about my husband? Is Oddkill safe? Is Zorgir, son of Bjork, alive? Today, the only ones arriving at this refuge are corpses for you to part from. If you do not find his corpse here, then your man is still alive. Does this mean the war's over? I want to return to the village. No, that won't be possible. Despite the truce, tensions are still high. We don't want to set off the Linu. I hope you understand. The men will be withdrawing to this island within a few days. We will immediately start adding on a small room so you will be able to treat the wounded. Ow, it hurts. Both of my legs are broken. Be careful. Be careful, I say. Well, you've got that much energy. I think you'll be fine, Oogie. Seriously. What, my dear? We lost. No, we won! We won, I tell you! Another push and we'd have annihilated the Linu. But that Thorfinn, he just decided on his own that we'd evacuate. Oh, shut the fuck up! You guys would have died. You guys would have been annihilated. He didn't even listen to what we want. He's just taking advantage of the fact that I can't move. Oh, fuck off, bro. We died and lost the land, too. But if you would have had, like, reinforcements, if you would have had maybe, like, Canute and, like, Thorkel, and I know, I'm trying to put my Garm bias aside, but let's be real. If you would have had, like, reinforcements come in, then yeah, you would have had a chance. Fuck, you could have waited it out and had the disease, like, destroy them all. That is very true. They could have won if they would have waited it out and had the disease destroy them. To an extent, yeah. But at the same time, even if the disease did wipe them out, there's still more. There's still more Linu that they probably would have had to face. Just saying. We died and lost the land too. Hey, Gudrid, are you going to compensate us for that? Everything that happened is Thorfinn's responsibility. Well, no shit! Thorfinn already knows that! He's taking responsibility for it all. But God, this background is great. No! It's not Daddy's fault that people died. Daddy hates fighting. He doesn't... Look, Thorfinn already is taking responsibility. He knows. He knows he has to take responsibility for it. Carly does not understand that. They're too young to understand what it means to be a leader like this. Carly, children's, oh my God, children's, I can't talk right now, oh my God. Children should stay out of adult conversations. Go play. Daddy isn't wrong. We have good people and so do the Linu, so why can't things work out? It was working out until a certain Linu came in and fucked with everybody. Until he brought the War Council, everything was going fine. Yeah, the Linu would have probably died from disease anyway. But still, they were doing just fine outside the disease part. Why do we need to be kind to the Linu? Thorfinn is in charge of the settlement, so why isn't he putting the success of the settlement first? Daddy isn't wrong. Even if the settlement didn't work out, he isn't wrong. If it didn't work out, that means that Thorfinn's ideals were wrong. Ooh, like that was fucked up, but but like he's right and he's wrong to an extent. There was an outside party that fucked everything up. That's the problem. But at the same time, it's like, here's where I'm kind of torn. Yes, Thorfinn's ideals were working. Everything was working. And if they were strong enough, even the outside party that came in, it should have worked anyway. It should, like, if his ideals were strong enough, then even the outside party coming in would have been willing to cooperate. So, to an extent, he is kind of right. Carly, that was childish, Oogie. Yeah, he is. That was really childish. That was right. They're right on that. Don't take out your loss on a kid. What do you say? She is right on that. If the failure is solely Thorfinn's responsibility, then the success was thanks to Thorfinn as well. No, ooh, she got you there. Let's read this again here. If the failure is solely Thorfinn's responsibility, then the success was thanks to Thorfinn as well, no? That is very true. It is, because remember, things were working out really well with the Linu. And who was the one that made the successful connection? Who was the one that got everything moving with the Linu? It was Thorfinn. What do you think, Oogie? Yeah, he's not happy about that. Are you just a guest at the settlement? Don't worry, Gudrid. Carly's a good boy. Aww. Hild, I'm just like EINAR. war because of the violence. In order to protect Carly and Gudrid and the baby, I was going to be violent. For that purpose, even if I had killed someone, I would have told myself I had no choice. Sometimes, just like EINAR, we saw EINAR say earlier, sometimes you have no choice. There's no other option but to kill. But here's the difference, though. There's killing just for the sake of killing, and then there's killing out of self-defense. And this was a situation where it would have been out of self-defense. Fighting a war that is killing people, I didn't really understand it. Same here. I didn't understand it either. The only thing I understood was Thorfinn. Cordelia, I want to hate us, but even more than that, I want to shout out what fools we are. If I did that to the point of ending suffering, Thorfinn. Aww. But here's the thing, though. I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this moment with Cordelia and Hild. Is that both EINAR and Cordelia, they didn't understand what war was. They are like they were like onlookers. They just made their judgment from seeing war. They did not take part in war. They were not actually fighting in a war. And they didn't really understand what war was in terms of like the fighting aspect of it until they were the ones that were actually, on the front lines. And then as Cordelia said, war because of the violence. In order to protect Carly and Gudrid and the baby, I was going to be violent. And for that purpose, even if I killed someone, I would have told myself that I had no choice. And fighting a war that is killing people, I didn't really understand it. Because war is more than just, if war is complicated, it's more than just violence. As I said, sometimes it is self-defense. Sometimes you're fighting to protect the people you love. Like some soldiers, if you ask some soldiers that go to war, they're fighting to protect their country. They're fighting to protect the people that, their families that live, at home. That's what they're doing. And Hild didn't even understand it either. Anyways. And Cordelia said this too. I want to hate us, but even more than that, I want to shout out what fools we are. See, because Cordelia didn't get it. She feels stupid for not getting it. If I did that to the point of ending suffering, Thorfinn, and like to an extent, both of them feel dumb because they didn't understand Thorfinn. Cordelia thought she understood Thorfinn, but she really didn't. And neither did Hild. Hild didn't really understand Thorfinn either. Anyways, now let's get to Carly. Regarding Daddy, thank you for protecting me. You made me very happy. You've grown up, Carly. It would have been better if it worked out. Growing the wheat went fine. The spread of the disease messed things up, which is true. We need to understand the disease better. We also don't really understand the Linu language. If we had learned the language properly from the start, we would have been able to talk. We'll definitely do better next time. Even if they did understand the Linu language, the war council, the war Linu, they weren't gonna listen. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. They were gonna kill you anyway. The disease, though, if they would have been able to cure the disease, that would have stopped the war Linu. I think that would have stopped, the war Linu from coming to an extent. But we'll do it again and again until a land of peace is created, until everyone understands Daddy, as long as it takes. You and Daddy can't be planning to give up now, can you? Crap, you grew up just a little too much, Carly? Okay, boss, Daddy and I will go with you to the end of the world. No, Vinland is enough. Aww. Oh, I understand you now. I'm sorry. The spell of war, this is so beautiful. Oh my god. The spell of war is powerful to the point where even a man who hates war as much as you ended up raising a weapon. I learned something. Oh, I love seeing this with Thorfinn and EINAR. You suffered. Rest well. Oh, in the end, you understood me. It made me happy. See you, EINAR. Humanity begins the 1,000-year voyage. Ah, the 1,000-year voyage! Okay. Hmm. Interesting. I'm just looking. It's interesting because Thorfinn thought that because EINAR wasn't on the front lines, that EINAR only watched war from the sidelines, that he could not understand all the fuckery that Thorfinn went through. And that he would never be able to understand Thorfinn. But Thorfinn, now, it sucks that it has to be this way, where Thorfinn now understands EINAR like this. The spell of war is powerful to the point where even a man who hates war as much as you ended up raising a weapon, and now you learned something, and you don't. Here's the thing: you don't have to be on the front lines to suffer from war. No, you could be on the sidelines from suffer from war too. Remember how EINAR watched his whole village burn down? He suffered from it. In the end, you understood me. It made me happy. And he did. To an extent, he did understand Thorfinn. And I think Thorfinn was kind of shocked. Now I get it. Remember when EINAR was about to die, that he saw, and this was after he killed someone, he was seeing like the ghost of the person he killed, kind of like how Thorfinn was dealing with all the corpses and the souls and whatnot of the people that he killed. That's what Thorfinn means. That's what he means. It took me a second, but I was like, okay, yeah, now I understand what he's talking about. Because when he's saying in the end you understood me, that's what he's talking about. Because EINAR didn't understand Thorfinn like that until the very end after he killed someone. That's what it means. That's what he means. Poor EINAR. It took killing some. It's so sad that it took EINAR killing someone for him to truly understand the pain that Thorfinn was enduring. That's really, oh god, that's really heartbreaking if you think about it. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Like, I really like what we're getting in terms of like a reflection from like Cordelia, especially Cordelia and Hill to an extent. That they in a way that they're more like onlookers, that they don't really understand what Thorfinn is going through psychologically because they haven't really killed anyone. They don't have to deal with the trauma of being followed by the souls of the people that they've killed, like Thorfinn has. And the only one that really did in the end was EINAR. That's just so sad. And I love the light shining down on the grave like this, but But what do you guys think about what do you guys think about Carly? What Carly wants to do? It's not going to happen, unfortunately. But the other thing I do like was what was said about Thorfinn's ideals. I'm going to go back to that because I really like that line. If the failure is solely Thorfinn's responsibility, then the success was thanks to Thorfinn as well. I like that because that is true. It is. And yes, Thorfinn knows, and also that was mentioned that it was Thorfinn's responsibility. Thorfinn already knows that it is his responsibility because he is the leader of this whole settlement. He already knows that it's his responsibility. So for Ugi to say all this shit, I'm just like, dude, he already knows. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, it's fucked up that he's taking it out on Carly, but it's like, dude, Thorfinn probably already knows that everything is his responsibility. He's already accepted. I think he even accepted it already. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think of this chapter? I think this chapter is really, really powerful. What do you guys think about what Thorfinn said at the end in terms of EINAR, in terms of EINAR understanding him? Do you guys think it has to do with EINAR seeing the ghost of the person he killed, like I do? Or do you think it's something else? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. Love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more Vinland Saga content. A few ways you could do that. Donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, purchase something off our Amazon wish list, and donate to our coffee. Links are in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend us on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. And until next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later. Bye.